Today we're going to be diving into what could potentially be the best series of this entire group stage. To be honest, I'm predicting it now that this might potentially be. We've got two of ODM's finest, Alfredinho and Zephos, facing off in this best of three. Game 1, Alfredino's mobile empire build was able to hold off Zephos' Dark Elves, repelling Marathi and leading to a pivotal Game 2 in the series, where Zephos must win to continue and force a Game 3. Now, in this pivotal Game 2, Zephos is the home team playing as the Wood Elves, and Alfredinho playing as the Tomb Kings. Let's take a look at the builds. We see already the Ancient Tree Man taking the slings and arrows of the Tomb Kings, and he's backed up by some Eternal Guards and Dryads. We got some Glade Guards as well, some Starfire Shafts, no Hagbane tips it looks like, Glade Riders with Spears, Wild Riders with Shields. And that's a pretty nice build, to be honest. Race the Frozen Heart in here on the right side as well. Some Skeleton Horse Archers already taking some shots. We've got Ushabti Great Bows also taking shots. Skeleton Horsemen and Skeleton Warriors up front. Some Spears. Lore of Light Lich Priest with Khalida on her snake. And the Sphinx of Usek. Yes, I think I nailed it that time. With the fire, magic damage, anti-large, should be quite good against trees. And also should be noted that Shem's Burning Gaze also technically does flaming magic damage, so again, good against trees. Although I don't know if it does the most armor piercing. Let's double check again. Yes, a decent amount of armor piercing, mostly armor piercing, certainly. Looks like there's some Skeleton Horse Archers maneuvering up and around the flank here, but the Wood Elves just going all in, kind of have a rush build. So pull up with their archers, send in the cavalry, send in the tree. See what they can do here. Wood Elves going to respond to the attacking Carrion with those Wild Riders held in reserve. We've got Race the Frozen Heart also kind of held in reserve here. Going to have to protect those Starfire Shafts. Lots of Skeleton Horsemen coming through. Not the best stats in the world, but at least can interrupt some of these archers and prevent them from firing for now. Tree Man also has that aura, which some of you pointed out, which I forgot about they added actually. Ancient Protector negates magic weapons in range, so as long as he's getting attacked in melee by things with magic damage, it won't actually matter. It will negate the magical part of the Sphinx of Usek, not the flaming part, so still is a dangerous matchup potentially. That being said, Wood Elves taking some losses on their cavalry as they try and defend, but able to defend against the opponent's cavalry as well, while protecting the archers for the most part. Glade Guards mostly staying alive here. Out on the flank, this one, Eternal Guard, yeah, doing okay. It's just Skeleton Horse Archers after all, and Glade Guards have okay melee stats. It's not terrible by any means. 27 melee defense in particular is decent for sure for a skirmish unit. But Doom Kings, the Carrion, were not super successful in helping to take out the Glade Guards, and they also themselves suffering pretty considerable losses before that. Realm of Souls able to recover them a little bit, but it looks like all the units might be expiring regardless. That being said, Lita definitely a force to be reckoned with here. Just gonna have to pull back a little bit, but yeah, the Glade Guards pretty much all still alive. Very impressive. This one out here gets routed by the Skeleton Horse Archers. Just too much to handle, I guess, at the end of the day. But this bit of a mistake here. Lich Priest of Light also gets caught up in some Dryads. They're high DPS in a circle. Beat situation will take him down. Loss of magic could be decisive. Let's see. He had Shem's Burning Gaze and Net, both of which would have been pretty useful here. At Shem's Burning Gaze in particular, if he's able to run around and just kind of follow the Chosen God's Ushabti and continue firing off that laser, do some pretty good damage. High Queen Khalida also with her Venom Staff does some okay damage. I don't know. Venom Staff I've never been too crazy about. That and Skarsnik's Prada seems to not be great. I don't know. It's been a while since I've used them. It's in my mind, they're really not worth taking, so unfortunate. Those like unique magic missiles aren't more cost effective, although it's a little bit tough because if magic missile abilities are too good, I don't think it's great, honestly, for the health of multiplayer in general. But what's not all great for health also is getting surrounded by angry elves, as the Skeleton Horse Archers are finding out getting absolutely beaten down by Glade Riders and Eternal Guards. Yeah, Tomb Kings definitely taking some losses, but hitting their hopes on the Sphinx of Usek here in the center as it pursues the Treeman, who wants absolutely none of that smoke. Ancient Treeman is going to get absolutely bodied. In fact, gets straight up knocked over. One of the few single entities that actually can get knocked over in this game. Those that stand on two legs, some of them can. I don't know, can the Hero Titan actually get knocked over? I don't think so. But regardless, he does get distracted momentarily by some Eternal Guards, which allows the Ancient Treeman a little bit of time to escape. Of course, Treeman is significantly slower here. He is literally just infantry speed, and not even good infantry speed at that, especially with the exhaustion, so not great. Sphinx Fusek can pretty easily keep up with him. That being said, Sphinx is overextending beyond any meaningful support. Not that there is any meaningful support really left on the field. The Glade Riders with the Eternal Guards are able to catch the Chosen of the Gods Ushabti and shut them down. And Xiphos taking Alfredino to task in this game too. Setup looking like it's going to set up that clutch rubber match game 3. Let's see. Yeah, a little bit of healing. Ancient Treeman, of course, with support. Much more happy to take this engagement, particularly the Eternal Guards, of course, with their anti-large AP. He's got arrows supporting. He's got everything he needs for a grand old time and not dying to the Sphinx. Happy day for the Treeman. Yeah, sad day for the Sphinx as it is going to start crumbling. And out in the distance there, Kalita doing something that's not supporting the Sphinx and the Sphinx itself. With that gone, I think that will probably trigger army losses here. So let's fast forward a little bit through that. And there you go. Will be a victory for Xiphos. He manages to even up the series 1-1, and we'll be taking a look at that game 3 in tomorrow's video. So be sure to stay tuned. Check back in for that. But definitely a fun game for sure. Absolutely a good time. Yeah, let's see here in terms of the values. Just nice value kind of spread all the way around on the Wood Elves build. Massive board of Wood Elves, as we have seen in other games recently. But ultimately, yeah, I mean, just kind of combined value all the way around. I don't know, maybe the Dryads are like the unit that overperforms the most, but really just, it's a team win here. Really hard to call out any individual unit as being most important. But as for Alfredino here, yeah, it's a little bit tough. I like the pick of the Sphinx of Usek here. A little bit risky because of Wood Elves missiles, but I believe it also has its own innate fire, which does help at least against the Starfire shafts specifically. And of course the anti-large AP magic flaming damage, like I said, is good against any tree unit. You know, you might see a Wild Durthu or Ancient Treeman. I feel like is even rarer of a pick, but I actually do quite like it. It gives you access to Lore of Life. Access to a decent single entity, kind of hang around, maybe bait out some bad engagements. But the Dryads here, I think actually picking off the Lich Priest of Light was pretty key. Had the Lich Priest been able to fall around and continue blasting with those Shem's Burning Gaze, I don't know if they would have been able to finish off the Ancient Treeman, and even if they did, just don't know if they have all the resources they need to be able to take out all these archers. Yeah, the fact that Xiphos was able to defend his archers, I would say, is another really critical part of this. Just being able to hold off those skeleton horsemen who ultimately don't really have the best quality. It's one reason why you often see Hekara horsemen. And I wonder almost if Alfredino would have folded the value of these carrion into taking more Hekara horsemen. I don't know if that actually would have helped. You're going to have less numbers, but a little bit better quality. And I think Hekara horsemen pretty reliably Blade Riders. Wild Riders definitely not. So it's an interesting one for sure. You know, we've seen in the last series with Rider Rohan, we saw how the Lizardman Cavalry were able to just absolutely dominate Wood Elves. And, you know, that's true of like Greenskins often, even like Empire, a lot of factions that can take good heavy cavalry. Can really give the Wood Elves some problems. Tomb Kings, unfortunately, are not one of those factions. You really don't have any traditional heavy cavalry. You have to just go with your light, low tier cavalry, or go all the way up to like Necropolis Knights, which are too limited in number, I think, to be very effective here. So it's an interesting one for sure. You could maybe also try and go for chariots, but again, a little bit risky because of how costly and relatively fragile they are. So an interesting matchup for sure. I almost want to give it advantage slightly to the Elves on paper, but it's hard to say really. Yeah, fun one though, regardless. Thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to stay tuned. Come back tomorrow for the thrilling conclusion of this series, and we'll see you next time.